Well, thank you so much, Mark. This is an absolute thrill for me because I have been watching you for years, and
Oh, thank
you
you.
don't age. I don't know how
Jessica, thank you.
it's a possible thing that you do, but you don't.
Thank you.
So I loved One Night in Bangkok.
Fantastic.
You really had a Sean Connery vibe going on, by the way. I just have
Oh,
to know. I
wow.
was
Thank
like,
you.
yeah, you looked great.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
So I'm gonna pick your brain.
Okay.
So this film is, first of all, this film is really focused on two people for the majority of it.
Yes.
It's almost like a play, like watching the two of you interact. Can you talk about creating the chemistry for that, as well as the how the if it was easier or difficult for you two to film those scenes like that, especially with the how you were in the back seat, he was in the front seat. You kind of weren't even really making eye contact other
Right.
than the mirror. Can
Right.
you talk about filming that?
Absolutely. Okay. So Witch Chaos, the director of it, we're good. We're good friends, and this was our third collaboration together. Uh, you know, as you said, it's very much one-on-one in a very small space, and it was really important that we found someone that could be um, strong, vulnerable, focused, and had a lot of energy in spite of not having to move or not being able to move a lot. So when Vanita Golton, Nita,
Mhm.
who played Far, when she came in to read, you could see the sparkle in her eye, and she had great energy. We had asked her to work on a couple of scenes, which she did, and she did it well. But Witch and I knew that she had more there. We were just wondering, would she be able to do it when we needed her to do it? So we hadn't planned on this, but we decided that we'd like to ask her if she'd do these other 12 pages, basically. And we said, we know you haven't rehearsed this, and neither had I, but we'll just read off the script and connect and breathe and see what we can do, and just play, because it was important for Witch and I to know that she could handle it. It's as you know, it's a lot of focus on the two characters, and it's that energy. So we started working on this scene, and we made eye contact, and we slowed it down, and Witch gave us some direction in between, and I made a couple of comments of just breathing and connecting, and by maybe page 7 or 8, she was there, and you could see the emotion come up, and it was in the eyes and the energy, and she was vulnerable and still street smart and strong, and all these elements that the character had, she was bringing right there, and I think, as far as I remember, before even the scene was over, I knew that she was the one, and Witch gave me a little glance, and I could see that we were both thinking the same thing. So before she even walked out, we didn't tell her right then and there, but we knew that she was the one, because it's exactly that. It's sort of like a play, and those two characters needed to have a connection. There needed to be something there, and what it exactly is, it was not even necessary to know, but it needed to be there so that we could play and evolve and go up and down, as you saw in the movie.
Oh
So
yeah, no, it would have. Yeah, no worries. I mean, it kind of, you guys were the heart of it, and if it didn't work, it wouldn't work. I mean, the whole movie wouldn't. And so you guys did fantastic.
Oh, thank you. And may I say real quick that was her first lead in a movie, and I'm so happy for her and proud of her and excited for her family and friends to see her, because I really think she did great.
She did. And you guys, the emotional level, I wasn't expecting it. I was like, you both cry really well. I'll just describe that.
Oh,
You
thank
cry
you.
really well.
Thank you.
And I just was like, oh, I just want to hug you, Mark. Oh my God, you poor
thank
guy.
you. Well, remember that when we can actually do that. And so
Well, someday.
someday when we see each other in person and it's not COVID time, we're hugging, okay?
Yay.
Okay.
This is for One Night in Bangkok. So one thing that I read and I was interested about asking you in regards to was that this was an homage to Collateral. and by that's how that's described, and it definitely is, but with very marked differences. How did you utilize any part of that film in how you wanted to convey your character of Kai in this, and what did you take from that film?
Okay, so I have to apologize because I have never seen Collateral,
Oh,
but I'm
wow.
a huge Tom Cruise fan, so now I should go see it. Oh, I should watch it.
It's one of
So
his best.
yeah, so I didn't see it, but I heard it was really good, and I love Tom Cruise. Um, I did not use any of that because I didn't see the film. You know.
Well, I will tell you that you did a great job in how you walked and your appearance, because he based that character off of a wolf. And you
Ah,
did a very good way of you kind of conveyed that whole hunter stalker mentality really
oh,
well. So
okay. Well,
good
thank you.
job.
Thank you so much.
So one thing I wanted to ask you about was wrapped up in this film is a surprisingly really beautiful story about forgiveness and finding peace, and coming to terms with your guilt. Can you talk about that? Because you and I cannot I Fa, do you
Or
pronounce
fa,
it Fa?
yeah,
Fa.
fa, yeah.
I always butcher names, and I'm so sorry.
No worries. No worries.
But you both conveyed that really well, and it's really deeply the soul of the film is this need to forgive and guilt and how to deal with it. Can you talk about creating that within the movie?
Absolutely. Well, I think for both of our characters, um, we had to deal obviously with tragedy, and what I found so interesting about Kai's character and his story is, I guess it forced me to question, what would I do? What would I, Mark, do if I went through Kai's, what happened to Kai? What would I do? And I I still don't know in real life what I would do, but it was very satisfying to live out Kai's actions and and get his justice. You know, it's um, it's very deep and human. I think to want revenge, but if you have the opportunity, do you act on it? Is it right to act on it? And what was really interesting to explore was that, without giving too much, you know, Kai, and Fa's relationship. He went into that car with a certain idea in mind. And because he was able to still maintain an open heart, he could see her, hear what she says, watch her actions, and understand that what he came to do, he needs to change it up because it wouldn't have been right anymore, you know? So he's learning as he goes. He's learning scene by scene, what the actual truth is, which I thought was fascinating. And I love that both of them, Kai and Fa, are finding out about that, and it is life or death, moment by moment.
Yeah, and you guys conveyed it beautifully. So one thing I wanted to ask you about, because as I said, I grew up watching I've grown up watching you grow up, basically.
Thank you. But you're a lot younger than I am, though.
I know I'm surprisingly old.
Yeah. You look great.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
But watching you in Double Dragon, watching you in The Crow, just everything you've done, and now with John Wick, which, my God, yes, you go, boy.
Thank you.
I squeed a little bit. I was like, yeah, get him, make him pay. Yeah. you know, you add John Wick to this, you and Keanu Reeves are showing like that you don't have to be like some 20 something kid to kick ass. And I love that about you. Can you talk about how it's changed in the industry and how it's evolved for you? And because you're an action guy, and that's what I love about you. And
Thank you.
You're also a genre guy. And can you talk about now, you know, they aged you up for this.
Yes.
And but
Thank
you were you know, I saw your backflip on Twitter. How has it changed for you as an actor, and how has it progressed for you in the industry as it's changes? There's been coming like a wave of over 40 action stars now, and you know, Tom Cruise is leading the way, Keanu's leading the way, but here you are, you're badass.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Jessica. Well, you know, the thing is, yeah, you know, everything is opening up in terms of stories and age and perspectives. And, you know, obviously, I feel like it's a really good thing, because we in America are able to see more of what's going on, you know, in other countries, some great films from these different countries and cultures. And we're learning from that and getting inspired, and, you know, and all that. And then also, you know, people, we see that it is possibly interesting to see different ages grow and evolve. You know, it's not just, you know, a certain age bracket, but life, if we're lucky enough to live long, we've got all this experience. And if certain filmmakers like Chad Stahelski of the John Wick movies, our director there, and Keanu, are open to it, we can explore that wealth of experience that people can bring as humans and as artists, and put that up on the screen. And you know, to John Wick 3, I love that Chad Stahelski, you know, was open to bringing older actors up there. I mean, Keanu's in his 50s, Lance, Ian, Halle Berry, you know, in her 50s, and she rocked. I mean, right? I mean, did Halle not rock that? Crazy action. She went for it, you know? And then I was lucky enough that Chad and Keanu invited me to the show, and I'm also in my 50s. So, you know, he and the studio and his support team really, you know, opened it up and gave us the opportunity to do what we can, even if we're you know, decades older than you know, a lot of the leads in other movies. So I feel so fortunate and grateful, because, you know, as we get older, I think we should evolve. And if we have stories to share and the experience to share, we should, you know. But we also need filmmakers that are open to giving us the chance.
Exactly. And I'm glad they did.
Thank you.
One of the best movies of the year. Yes.
Thank you.
So one thing I wanted to ask you about, I'm probably going to lose you here in a couple minutes, but as I said, you're a genre guy. You've done so much wonderful sci-fi and horror with Brotherhood of the Wolf.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can you talk about what is your favorite genre to play in? Because we know you're an action guy, and that's a big part of your repertoire. But yes, if you had your druthers, which would it be? Horror, sci-fi, romantic comedy?
Wow, you know, that's a great question. And you know, I have to say, right before Chad invited me to John Wick 3. We had done another season of Iron Chef America, and I did my second Hallmark movie. So I went from cooking and culinary to, you know, happy-go-lucky to hardcore John Wick 3.
You have range.
So, yeah, thank you. So in terms of my favorite genre, I can honestly say that I don't know if I have a favorite genre, because I really, when I read a script, it just naturally, how does it make me feel? How do I feel when I read it? Because whether it's action or sci-fi or romantic comedy, you know, who are the characters? What are their relationships? And then how do I feel about it? And that's kind of how I go off of it, you know? And I like it that way because I like doing horror and sci-fi and action and romantic comedies and all these different things. I like it all, you know? What is the character? Who is the character that I'm playing? What is the story? How does it make me feel? And that's kind of it.
That's fantastic. Well, I love everything you do. And I wanted to wrap this up with, because I know Enter the Dragon is one of your favorite films.
Yes, yes, yes.
I wanted to have, because I am a massive John Saxon fan and we just lost him.
Yes.
And I wanted to hear your thoughts on John Saxon as an actor and as a icon.
You know, I thought he was wonderful. I loved him. I loved him in Enter the Dragon. You know, yes, he was a wheeler and dealer and a con man, but I thought he did a great job as a martial artist. And he was able to give his character integrity and heart, a sense of humor and respect, you know? And I think, I don't know if you're able to bring that out if you don't at first already have that in. So, you know, just based off of Enter the Dragon, I'm a huge John Saxon fan, and he will be missed. And yes, Enter the Dragon is one of my all-time favorite movies ever.
That's amazing. Well, sir, thank you so much. And you bring all of those qualities to your roles, and you just have a lot of heart. And I love anytime I see you in something, you make me smile because I'm like, oh, he's great. Yay.
Thank you, Jessica. Thank you for having us. Thank you so much.
And thank you.